Seder Wayfinder, a bunch of lands on Braatz's side. For Davis, he's got a Jace, couple of lands out there, and it looks like a decent amount of cards in hand. So we're going to buckle in. Not going to be going anywhere for a while.
Yeah, fair number of cards in hand for Jim. Looks like Seder Wayfinder is trying to keep that Jace at bay. And are resolving a dig through time on Sam Braatz's side. Just kind of Thoughtseize. So let's see what Jim's working with. Has a Jace in play. His hand, 3 Ojutai's commands and an end hostilities.
And dig through time's going to go away.
Yeah, so don't play creatures.
Yeah.
Ever. That may be okay from Sam's side.
Well, Jim might be okay with this too. You know, even though Ojutai's command's not all that exciting, Jim can Jim can cycle one of these, right?
Yeah, they're not going to be dead. He can start cycling them. And I imagine that's what he'll do, gain some life, draw a card. I don't see life points mattering too much in this matchup when the players' decks are both able to compound their advantages to run away with it.
Yeah, so this isn't so bad.
You have to cut there, figure out, leave him with 1 deck.
Now Jim will draw a card, gain some life, time to untap.
Card drawn was dig through time. It's very powerful here.
Again, Davis has that Jace. Elspeth was the draw.
The dangers with only Thoughtseizing and making a deck like Blue-White Control discard is that because of a card like Dig Through Time, Blue-White plays very well off the top of their deck. So if you're trying to dodge a card like Elspeth, the problem is that when Jim top decks a Dig Through Time, he pays 2 mana to dig and can find Elspeth and just cast everything that turn. So his deck, he'll just top deck very well out of these situations.
Dave's going to move Jace up. Seder Wayfinder's going to slow way down. Both players with quite a few cards in hand. Quite a few lands on the battlefield as well. So we'll see which one can work their way towards an advantage here. Davis's way to go about winning could be a Jace ultimate. Could be an Elspeth, all those tokens in an ultimate.
In the main, there's 4 Thoughtseizes in the Soul Tide deck. Jim slow playing Elspeth, something that we see him do a lot.
Yep. Doesn't like casting unless he has 9 mana.
Yeah, in this matchup, there is not much interaction that Sam actually has in the form of counter spells. He does have Garruk Apex Predator, and Garruk here is, excellent at taking care of other Planeswalkers. If Jim had tapped out for that Elspeth, Garruk can just kill them. He is a hunter. We'll see, does Jim have a counterspell for it? He could try to dig through time into a counterspell. He has just enough mana to find a dissolve.
Clash of Wolves will work too.
Yep. With 7 cards to look at, and in theory up to 7 hits, this is pretty likely that Jim will be able to counter.
Looking for some blue ones. It's a pretty bad dig through time.
Yeah, he misses, so Garrick's going to be on the table.
Yeah, another Ojutai's command, a bunch of lands, another dig through time, and an Elspeth. So no hits here.
That is problematic to say the least. Jim needed to hit the counterspell here.
Yeah, Garruk is a unique threat in the matchup. Can start going after Jace and Elspeth as well. Can also put some creatures on the battlefield. So this is something that Jim's going to have to take care of now because it is going to resolve. We'll see how Sam does want to use it, though.
Yeah, once the Garrick's on the table, the number of ways Jim can deal with it are few and far between. He has 3 copies of Banishing Light, and that's it. The plan against this kind of card is to never let it resolve, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't look too thrilled, but Garruk is in there.
Big miss by Jim. He's going to have to recover. It's going to take some time, too. That plus ability to just hunt down another Planeswalker.
So again, we'll see how Sam wants to go about using this. It starts at 5. Plus it to take care of Jace isn't a bad start. You can plus it to make a creature as well.
He'll just go for the Beast token, not actually caring. And I understand this. I don't think he needs to care about the Jace until it's at 3.
Fair enough.
Now, of course, Jim could Banishing Light the Garruk.
And that would be bad.
And then maybe Sam would have wished he had taken care of the Jace. If the Banishing Light play doesn't happen, then Sam definitely made the right pick here.
Well, Davis, we'll see what he can do here.
Big grip, lot of card draw, some threats of his own. No answer to Garrick.
Radiant Fountain, as far as the land's concerned, a lot of copies of Ojutai's Command, though they are not lining up very well right now. There is Radiant Fountain. I think the draw for the turn was actually Clash of Wills, ironically enough.
A taunt there.
Yeah.
Could switch that with any of those first 7. Sure, Jim would have done it. But he cannot. So, does have Clash of Wills. A copy of Dig. Multiple Ojutai's Commands. End Hostilities, Elspeth. Looks like he'll shrink down the beast.
Let's go back to Sam.
After round 7, including your top 8.
Sam with the draw. He'll have his mana available. Remember, there's not actually counter magic on Sam's side.
Yeah, he's very, very proactive.
Yeah. If Banishing Light takes care of Garrick, Sam does play 2 copies of Sultai Charm in the main. So he could get the Garrick back out from under the enchantment.
But there's another beast.
Yeah, it looks like he just might want to attack down the Jace, not even waste time using Garrick to take care of it. See, Sam has Den Protector in his hand. He's opting not to cast that in the face of bunches of Ojutai's Commands. He knows there's at least 2 left in Jim's hand.
Dig through time. Jim asking if it resolves, but kind of asking, I know you have no counter magic in your deck. Does this resolve?
Yeah, I mean, while Jim's tapped down, I suppose Sam could make a play like Hero's Downfall on Jace.
17 points, catch your call.
Looks like Davis has found the answer here. Picked up a copy of Banishing Light.
Yeah, Banishing Light and Dissolve appear to be the selections from Jim.
Players in the top 8.
A powerful 1-2 punch.
You're now in the first
Can Banishing Light and hopefully never let Garrick out from under that.
aisle. If you have not given us your deck list,
So despite Garrick being a strong play here, these dig through times should
second and third tables in the aisle.
be good enough for Jim. Now, then he'll have to take care of the beasts in play. He does have an End Hostilities in hand, some life points to work with. I think he still has this under control, but then again, Sam always can go at him with a slew of discards, so anything could happen here.
All right, Davis will draw. And Hostilities is what he's found.
Second copy of that. He has 1 from a while ago, but Sam knows about that.
So let's see how Jim wants to move forward here. Not even sure he has a land to play. He might just be loaded up all on spells.
Well, the start, I have to imagine, is Banishing Light.
And his light total's so high at this point that he, I thought a line, and it still could be, I suppose, is Banishing Light plus End Hostilities, but he doesn't have to take, I think, that drastic of a measure at this point. So he can play Banishing Light, take care of Garrick, and now just leave up mana if he wants to.
Well, he may. If he doesn't have hostilities, he will lose his Jace to the next attack. So it depends how much he values that. But you're right. The answer is it doesn't appear that he values the Jace too much. He much more values the ability to leave up counter magic. And I would agree. If he takes down these counter spells, as we've noticed, there are Den Protectors waiting in Sam's hand.
Yeah, I don't want Den Protector resolving if I'm Jim.
You are in 9th to 32nd place.
And here comes some creatures swinging.
To get your prize,
See where they're going. They may all be at Jace, maybe some at Jim.
Wow, not going to kill Jace.
Yeah, 4 to Jim, 1 to Jace.
Huh.
Well, he does have a Hero's Downfall left in his hand. And if he's thinking that's not going to have targets, then maybe he wants to get damage in. But I am surprised that the Planeswalker is not in the yard. Will Jim cycle another command at end step? Appears that he will.
Yeah, one's not doing all that much. That's actually part of the reason I don't really like the attack here from Sam, is because he can just undo it by gaining 4 life and drawing a card. And I don't actually want to use Hero's Downfall on a Planeswalker I can kill.
Well, here's the thing. If you kill the Planeswalker, Jim's going to use Ojutai's command to bring back Jace.
That's very true.
So does it matter? Maybe the life points are better. Maybe all roads lead to the same spot. We know that Sam knows there's just an abundance of these Ojutai's commands.
And Hostilities is about to be on the way, I think.
Sure looks like it. Here's the sweeper. No counter magic from Braatz. That will clear the board. Jace still there. He goes up to 2.
So now Sam going to take a look at the graveyard there from Jim, the exile pile, and see what he's working with, and now take a draw step. Thoughtseize, looking to clear the path here.
He's not going to like what he sees. Jim has a lot of tools at the ready.
And Jim says, here's my grip.
So yeah, we have Last Breath, Dissolve, Clash of Wills, Ojutai's Command, End Hostilities, and Elspeth Sun's Champion.
And being able to try to poke a hole through Jim's hand here is pretty tough because you want to be able to take 2 counter spells to resolve Den Protector, and I think that's Jim's top priority as far as cards to counter, is not letting Den Protector resolve because there are a lot of options there in the graveyard for Sam that matter, and you just want to stop him from doing that if you can.
Well, by taking the Ojutai's Command, you can force Jim to spend Dissolve on the Den Protector, which in some ways is a win. Dissolve's one of the best cards in Jim's hand. And that's the reason why Jim lets the Thoughtseize resolve, is it does force Sam to take the Ojutai's Command. I mean, this way Jim gets to leave up mana for a counterspell post Thoughtseize. And because he has Dissolve and Ojutai's Command that are both castable on 4, that's why he's going to let Thoughtseize resolve.
Yep. See what Sam wants to take here with the Thoughtseize.
Go for the more generic card in Dissolve. So it's not clear yet for Den Protector, but one more Thoughtseize from Sam, and maybe we can do it. I like taking the Dissolve because what it means is that if Jim goes for the Elspeth plus Dissolve play to protect Elspeth from a hero's downfall, Sam's taking that away, so he can count on his hero's downfall now, at least temporarily, as an answer.
Davis taking a look now as he's starting, at least it feels like, to turn the corner.
Banishing Light, I believe, the draw for Jim.
Jace up to 3.
Yeah, Sam may have to try to kill the Jace on end step. I don't think he wants to let Jace flash back more Dig Through Time.
Again, Legacy top 8 players, if you have not brought us...
One thing we know about Jim, super patient when he's playing these control decks. So, you know, some people might get a little fidgety and say, I got to do something, I'll cast Dig Through, or I'll cast Elspeth, or what have you. And that's just not what this game is about at this point. He's just kind of rocking steady, not really going to change anything. Now there's a Void Snare.
Yeah, those cards are in the... So you might be wondering what that's doing in the Sultai control deck. These are in the main deck to supplement the fact that he's playing 4 copies of Demonic Pact. It's his own way to reset the pacts. That said, it does take care of Banishing Lights temporarily. So you could think of this as a kill spell for the Jace. If Sam gets the Garruk back for 1 turn, he can kill Jace, and then it'll go back under the Banishing Light.
Yeah. It's a way to get it done. A 1-mana way to kill Jace with the Apex Predator.
There we go. Predator hunts down Jace. Jim, of course, can bring it back with the remaining Ojutai's Command that he has.
He's going to wait, however.
Yeah, all that mana, why cast anything with it? We're not in danger of losing.
Temple's going to leave the top card on top. Banishing Light's going to get cast here. We'll see if it does resolve, and it will. So there goes Garruk again. So it's just kind of a one-time use there. Now we head back Sam's way. Sam will draw a card. Still has Den Protector in hand. Going to play a Temple of Malady. That top card is going to become the bottom card. And now we're going to go back over to Davis. Davis will untap those lands, take a draw. He left this card on top. It was a Jace. He clearly has plans with Ojutai's Command to counter a creature.
Yeah, he is showing a good amount of concern for Den Protectors. They are certainly I think Den Protector looping is certainly a weakness of the blue-white control deck. He's not well equipped to deal with that. He can Last Breath away the Den Protectors if they're face down, but the ability for Sam to keep looping them back, getting more Den Protectors, getting discard, that's very powerful.
Oh, there's Jace.
A lot of cards here. This game's still happening at the pace that Jim would want.
I think so. Language is looking to trade 1-for-1 here with Jace. And don't think of it as trading with an O2. Think of it as trading with a Planeswalker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Planeswalker as soon as next turn. Jim's fine, though. If Sam wants to initiate a trading game, Jim's going to be on board. That's kind of his strategy.
A land drawn there for Davis. Very patient is Jim with the blue-white control deck. Looking to pick his best spot here with Elspeth. Elspeth, very powerful, but also very expensive. Having to tap 6 mana on your own turn, put down that wall of counter magic, especially when you know your opponent has Den Protector in hand. So there's a lot to weigh into this.
Well, we do know that Sam has had a hero's downfall since the early turns of this game, and it seems to have Elspeth's name written on it based on how he's been playing. Which is wise. That is the way that Jim's deck wins the game, is with Elspeth. And it's I don't believe it's very possible that Sam could work his way through all 3 Elspeths.
That can be very, very hard.
We're concerned about a milling sort of atmosphere. Also, because Sam plays Seder Wayfinders, I'm not even sure that he wins the natural mill war. It's possible Sam has the smaller deck.
Looks like Jim's making a move.
He's got 6 mana set to the side. That's looks like it could be Elspeth.
Start with Tranquil Cove. Nope, just gonna pass. Not ready to make the move with Elspeth yet. Sam will draw. Sam's still a Den Protector in hand. Looking to resolve that, to regrow something from his graveyard, be it Thoughtseize, Garruk, what have you. A lot of great options in the graveyard there for Sam. But he knows that Davis has a copy of Ojuchai's Command in hand, so he can't cast it. Here's Ojuchai's Command.
He looks to get back Jace, draw. Sam still with no counters, so these do get to resolve.
Threatening to flip Jace now. And perhaps buy back a Dig Through Time. Perhaps that's the big plan. Well, here's Hero's Downfall.
Sam's been holding on to that one for a while. And just a little more card advantage still extracted out by Jim. Despite all this trading and maneuvering that's going on, Jim has stayed at 5 or more cards for many turns now.
Yeah, Sam he's thinking about it. He's thinking about casting Hero's Downfall. Jim knows he has it. Jim says, can I untap? On the upkeep.
Yeah, I'm not positive what's happening. Yeah, where we
I don't
are.
want to do it then. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do not want to do it then. Jim will draw.
Yeah, if you're in Hero's Downfall, make sure it's not some that's summoning sake.
Yeah, do it in response to Jason's activation. Do not do it right now.
Modern Premier IQ players, just a reminder.
Now Jim will activate Jace.
Yeah, just a missequence there by Sam. It means that Jim will get a free loot, but that's all.
Yeah, I would have preferred to see this when Jim brought it back.
Not a huge price. Jim, like I said, Jim gets a loot.
Well, a loot is relevant here. You know, that Clash of Wills in his hand stinks.
The loot is very similar to drawing a card.
Yeah. He drew a copy of Last Breath, which is only mediocre right now, discarding a copy of Last Breath. Now there's a Radiant Fountain. Now we'll see if Jim maybe wants to cast Elspeth or not.
Continues to build up on lands. At some point, he has to go for it. Questions matter. How many Elspeths are left in Jim's deck? That'll affect how he has to play this one.
Well, he's making his move.
All right, here's the Champion of the Sun.
That's in.
He pluses.
Yep, 3 soldiers are in with it.
Is there a downfall waiting? There is not.
Modern Premier IQ players,
Yeah, use the downfall on the Jace.
Yeah, Sam has to go for it now. Can't actually let Elspeth stay in play. This is Jim's win con. We've seen him win with it numerous times today.
Well, Sam's got this Void Snare play again. The bounce Banishing Light. And he's gonna lead off with Den Protector, it looks like. So let's see if this resolves.
All right, Jim, remember to deploy Elspeth, he had to go down 6 lands to do it. He has 6 more in play. Wants to see, he knows it's Den Protector, looks at the board, at the graveyard. Hero's Downfall possibility, Thoughtseize, Void Snare, Dig Through Time, Demonic Pact, Jace, a lot of great options.
Jim's still with Clash of Wills. You can Clash of Wills for 5. So it looks like Den Protector is in.
All right.
Not sure how Sam wants to use it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Sam knows how he wants to use it. Perhaps he was expecting it to get countered.
Yeah, from Jim's side, maybe he has to just counter the card that Den Protector gets back. His counterspell is Clash of Wills. By playing Elspeth, he went down on lands enough that Sam gets to have a spell, and that spell is Den Protector. It's a good card for Sam to get down at this point. But Sam probably does not, he'd spend too many of his own lands of just getting back Hero's Downfall, using it on Elspeth. Then the Clash of Wills will be live.
Yep.
I think after this turn, so Jim's going to just have to fight over the next card. This Void Snare, though, that's pretty big. Sam still has enough lands up that Jim can't counter, but this will take care of Elspeth.
This trick again.
And Void Snare is just kind of actually showing its strength here. Sam is really capitalizing on the fact that Jim spent 6 mana main phase. And at the end of this exchange, it may actually be Sam that's on top.
So now we're going to see if Void Snare resolves.
Yeah, Jim still has no great counters here. You know, checking if there's a way out. He has Clash of Wills, End Hostilities, Last Breath. None of these help. So Garrick back into play. The Apex Predator gonna hunt down some prey in that Elspeth.
Yep, that's done.
Big turn for Sam Braatz. And it didn't take much. Just 1 Den Protector and 1 Void Snare.
There's an Opulent Palace, and now the turn is over.
What'll be really interesting is whether or not there's a copy of Sultai Charm in Sam's graveyard. He does have 2 in the main. Rather than just continuing to Void Snare the Banishing Light, maybe he could actually use the Den Protector to permanently get rid of it.
Certainly an option.
While Garrick's on the table, it's very punishing. I mean, Jim has another Elspeth in his hand. That doesn't do much. There is a Sultai Charm in the graveyard.
And a Dig Through Time, too. Those are the cards that Jim, I think, analyzed there.
So he'd need, this is going to be difficult. He'd need Banishing Light to do a lot of work, but not when it gets blown up. Maybe he needs a second Banishing Light.
Now we're going to do the library count, maybe.
Yeah, who's drawn more cards? That's going to matter. Jim has been drawing more cards in the late game, but we don't have a great read on how many Seder Wayfinders happened early on.
Welcome to the 8th and final round. You have 50 minutes, and you may begin.
Those are the cards that make Sam mill faster. Jim, this was not the sequence of events he wanted. And it's possible, in the face of Den Protectors, that Jim was a tad aggressive on his Ojutai's commands.
Perhaps.
Which sounds strange, thinking he had 3 of them, and to cycle them on end step seems free, but it's not. At a certain point, it doesn't matter how many cards in your hand, or it matters, you know, the question of how many counter spells are left in your deck actually starts to matter. So you start thinking of the things you need to counter, and you have to pair the counter spells in your deck against them. And if Den Protector is actually this important, you may just have to figure, I need as many Ojutai's commands in my hand as he has Den Protectors in his deck. If that's the situation, you have to just sit there with, you know, maybe 3 Ojutai's commands in your hand and just not cycle them.
Looks like it's time for Banishing Light on Garrick again. Well, perhaps it's going to go, it looks like it's going to go after Den Protector. Interesting.
Wow, okay.
So Den Protector is going to end Megamorph. It'll get a counter.
See what he'll get back. This makes it less likely that he gets back Sultai Charm. Maybe he goes for just Dig Through Time instead. there is another Sultai Charm in his deck that he can find. He's looking toward Thoughtseize, actually. It's interesting. I somewhat like Dig Through Time because I believe you could find a Thoughtseize off the Dig Through Time if that's the card you really want.
Yep.
There's 4 in his deck.
Soldiers can go after Garrick, knock it down to 3.
And remember, there's a second Banishing Light in Jim's hand. And now that the Den Protector did not get back Sultai Charm, now he can Banishing Light the Garrick again. And that will stick. Good play on Jim's side. Yeah, and that's an interesting assessment. If you assume that if you know the deck list, going from Sam's side, I think you still just want to get back the Sultai Charm at the end there because looking at Jim's deck list, the only, and I actually mean the only answers to Garrick that he has is attacking it down with creatures, that seems hard, or these 3 copies of Banishing Light. So I would expect to ride this Garrick to victory and get back something like Sultai Charm and say, I'm just going to protect Garrick. And at a certain point, your card advantage doesn't matter. What's in your hand doesn't matter. The only cards that matter are these Banishing Lights, and I'm going to blow them up.
Well, it looks like it's time to attack here for Jim.
Jim checking the cards he has in exile. Those all have been delved away. So he needs to count just how many counterspells he has left in his deck at the moment. This is going to matter. And the soldiers are going to go at Garrick. A little surprised there. I did think Jim was going to follow up with another Banishing Light on the Garrick if he has it, which I believed he did. And he's going to go for, this is a surprise, another Elspeth into the Garrick Apex Predator. Well, if you look at Sam's deck for a second here, he does have 2 Languish in the main. Those aren't going to be their post board.
It looks like he might be still casting Banishing Light.
Okay, so the Banishing Light's still happening. If the Banishing Light was going to happen, I am surprised. I don't really see why the 3 soldiers went at Garrick.
Yeah.
Damage is not too important in this matchup. So yeah, this means that Jim, I think what happens is that Jim changed his mind. It's going to cost him 3 damage points that he changed his mind. I don't think 3 damage points matters particularly much.
I don't think it does very much. It certainly could.
Yeah, he certainly lost them. It was free.
But that's definitely, that's a backwards line of play.
Yeah.
Like, attacking it for 3 and then Banishing Lighting it is very backwards.
I think I just think he changed his mind and said, and it does take you a certain amount of player to change your mind mid-turn and say, well, I just lost 3 points of value for nothing, but at least I'm making the right play now. We'll just do that and continue on with our life. You hope it doesn't, especially when you're playing a control deck like this, the idea that you're going to make mistakes is kind of a given. So you just hope that it doesn't cost you the game when you do. That, in the realm of things, that's a small one. We go back over to Sam Braatz. 6 creatures on the board, so he'll start with Den Protector again. This looks great. Can he get back that Sultai Charm? I'm excited about doing that.
I'm fairly excited about Sultai Charm. A little interested in Languish too. A little interested in Dig Through Time.
If it hits, Dig Through Time gives you everything. It could give you Sultai Charm and Languish.
Yep.
Thought last time when he got back the Thoughtseize that the cards he wanted most were Sultai Charm and Dig Through Time. Thoughtseize is a good close third. And it looks like we're going to start on Dig Through Time. Remember, Sam still has that Thoughtseize from that last Den Protector. At some point, he's going to want to cast it in the middle of the turn here. So, and maybe he would have wanted to do it before the Dig Through Time so that he had information on Jim's hand. It would help him better make this decision.
Well, now Sam is going to take a look at the top 7 cards. Sultai Charm is one of them.
Definitely want that one. Demonic Pact is another. I don't know how I feel about Demonic Pact at this point. When we were going through all our Sultai Charms and Void Snares, I start to become somewhat concerned about that card killing me.
Yeah, it definitely makes a weird shift on the game.
Yeah, I may just pass on it if I feel like I'm ahead.
There is Sultai Charm. Here's Temple.
And the good news of this is he can Thought Seize and then Sultai Charm. Garrick will take a beating off these soldiers, but he won't die. He'd go to...
There goes Elspeth. Garrick's up to 6.
No Thought Seize from Sam.
Little surprising there.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I believe, what he got off the first Den
No,
Protector.
yeah, he has one in his hand. He just and 1 mana left over. Just elected not to cast it this turn.
One thing, which is what he could be doing, is because he doesn't actually have counter spells, he may not be concerned with Jim's hand just in the abstract. It might be the kind of thing that when Sam wants to resolve a payoff spell, he saves all his Thought Seizes for that turn so that he can have the maximum chance of Thought Seizing away the counter spell that would counter the thing he wants. Say he Thought Seizes Jim, takes a card, Jim draws Ojutai Command this turn, and then next turn Sam draws Den Protector. He says, hey, I want to play Den Protector. He gets it commanded. He'll go back and say, man, I probably should have played that Thought Seize, waited on the Thought Seize so I could get Ojutai's command.
Here come the soldiers towards Garrick. I believe 1 will be blocked by Den Protector. So 5 damage will get dealt. Garrick will fall down to 1.
Big chance for Jim. If he gets that Garrick into the graveyard, it's a big win. Remember, he has so few answers to Garrick. One's a Banishing Light in the graveyard. One's a Banishing Light that's on the table with something else under it. If the third Banishing Light is taken care of, then Jim just doesn't answer it outside of Elspeth tokens.
Jim going to sacrifice Flooded Strand. We might just see like a really big Clash of Wills right now.
I'm not sure. I mean, so the danger here is that if Sam has one of his main deck languishes and then cleans up the tokens.
Well,
That-
the problem
yeah.
is that Jim's hand is End Hostilities, Clash of Wills, Last Breath.
Okay, so sure, it's just the best
Yeah,
spell.
so it's just the best thing he has to cast.
Yes, the idea when your hand is negate, just negate you, and you negate the Thought Seize every time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'll take negate.
And Jim doesn't have very many cards left in his deck. There are about 12 to 14 in there, so resources are definitely limited right now. Here's the Clash of Wills.
It's why you see Jim counting his exile zone a lot. He actually is wondering how many of each card. He's doing math on his deck list and figuring out what his remaining cards are. This is a Clash of Wills for what appears to be 9 mana. Sam has it.
Well, mana is not a concern.
Well, if he wants to languish this turn, it could in theory be a concern. But you're right. And I wonder if Sam's even playing for the win anymore. If he wants to play for the win, his game plan is to protect Garrick at all costs.
Well, there goes End Hostilities.
All right. Can Sam languish the board? He's going to make a 3/3.
Well, no languish in hand at this point, so he has a Jace. That looks like he's going to play.
Well, even with the Jace here, there's 3 creatures on Sam's board, 5 on Jim's. He can take care of the Garrick. It will cost him 2 of his soldiers.
He also has a copy of Murderous Cut in hand at this point.
So maybe if he cuts a soldier.
Well, Jim just
Yeah.
last breaths here, everything at Garrick. There are 3 removal spells. One's the Beast, the other's one's a Beast, one's a Den Protector, one is a Murderous Cut.
Exactly.
So he's got enough to get the job done on Garrick. He's just got to attack with everything.
Yeah, before that last breath happened, Sam had a way to protect Garrick, but now he doesn't, and he'll just lose the Planeswalker.
Well, he's not going to lose the Planeswalker, actually, unless he wants to, because 2 blockers. And then, okay, so he does let it go, because last card in Sam's hand is Murderous Cut, so he could have cut a token, and he chose not to. 4 were going towards Garrick, and only 1 was going, and then 1 was going towards Sam instead of 5
wow.
and 0.
So Jim didn't attack her on the kill spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could. He could have saved the Garrick.
So I'm actually surprised by that exchange.
Okay. Sam blocked one of the token that was
Yep.
going toward him.
So here's a Morph, here's an attack. I believe Morph is Den Protector again.
And now we see why Sam's okay letting the Garrick get binned. And this game looks like, after 55 short minutes, that it's going to head towards Sam. His Den Protector and Recursion looks like it's actually able to grind through Jim's entire deck.
Yeah, now Jim is not attacking anymore at all. He's on defense. He's got a bunch of lands in play. He just played a Radiant Fountain to go up to 16.
Yeah, remember, you can't defend against Den Protector. You actually can attack through those tokens.
Looks like he's going to unmorph Den Protector. It'll get a counter, of course, and we'll see what he does want to return. Looks like he's going to return Dig Through Time.
Great card. At some point, when you're sort of returning Dig Through Times, you do have to ask what cards are left in your deck to determine whether Dig Through Time's actually better than just recurring the one card you want. You know, there's a chance that he's just supposed to return Garrick Apex Predator. and say, oh, that's better than any other 2 cards.
Well, he's going to play Dig now. Take a look at the top 7. Thoughtseize, a couple copies of Dig Through Time in there. Languish as well. Don't think Languish matters too much anymore. It was maybe about that a little bit earlier, but it isn't right now. So 2 cards very quickly selected by Sam.
I believe one of them was a Thoughtseize. And that's been his MO in this matchup, is the fact that he is a flat, both decks are Jace decks. But the fact that Sam is a Jace deck that can Den Protector and Jace to recur discard spells gives him a lot of extra value in the matchup.
Here come the beatdowns.
Full swing. 6 in, Jim to 10. 2 more attacks should do it.
Ugin also in hand here for Sam if he wants to cast it.
It's got Jim down to 1 card. He'll Thoughtseize first.
It's a Radiant Fountain. Now you know the path is clear for Ugin. Now
And
here is Ugin.
so easy. Sam turning the corner. Short game. But it looks like he's gotten there.
Ugin go upstairs. Davis will fall down to 7. He does not have a card like Fated Retribution to draw in this situation. No copies of that in his deck. And this might be his last draw step of this game, and it is. It's a copy of Temple of Enlightenment. So Sam Braatz is going to win game number 1 here over Jim Davis. Saltite Control up a game here over Blue-White Control. These players will sideboard here, and we'll take a look at the sideboard in just a moment. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we do come back, we'll take a look at sideboards and then get ready, for game number 2 of this marathon affair. So we'll see you guys back here for that just a bit.
Join us on the road to the StarCityGames.com Players Championship in Indianapolis, Indiana on October 3rd. With a $20,000 Standard Open and 2 $5,000 Premier Invitational qualifiers featuring Legacy and Modern, the Open Series is paying out more than ever before. 16 players will qualify for any of the next 4 StarCityGames.com Invitationals, where they'll battle for $50,000 in cash prizes and a coveted seat in our year-end Players Championship. Join us to compete, trade, play side events, or just hang out with friends at the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Indianapolis.
I think it's awesome. I think it's a great way to open up the more competitive tournaments to the local game stores.
I heard about the invitational qualifiers by coming to this store and playing.
When I started playing Magic, I'd have to travel 3 hours for a win-a-box, I'd have to travel 6 hours for a PTQ, and now every weekend there's an IQ in my backyard. I can travel like 2 or 3 hours maximum and find something to play in.
I think it's made me and a lot of my friends a much better player because the atmosphere is high for competition, but it's a lot of fun.
I love the IQ series. For somebody who is really an F&M player, to have the opportunity to kind of expand your player base and really to be able to go and show, test your skills against other players in a completely different meta game, it's a really cool opportunity.
You get to see some of the pros come out and try to get some open points, and it kind of builds your confidence and makes you want to take on opens, invitationals, and go further.
Just being able to qualify via an event at your local shop is just an amazing opportunity for a lot of players.
What does being in the Players Championship mean to you?
Just try to think through what I'm going to say.
Meet the StarCityGames.com Summer 2015 Creature Collection. We are proud to debut 4 brand new designs, including the Piglet, Monkey, and Kraken, plus our card parody Deathrite Salmon. All are now available on playmats, sleeves, and bundles with 1 playmat and 2 packs of sleeves. Get your Summer 2015 Creature Collection products now exclusively at StarCityGames.com.
We are back here from Milwaukee. StarCityGames.com Open Series. Center Phillips, Matthias Hunt, getting ready for game 2 of what looks to be a marathon affair between Sam Braatz and Jim Davis. We take a look at the sideboards here, and we'll start with Davis and his 3 Arash and Cleric. Disdainful Stroke, 2 Glare of Heresy and a Last Breath, 2 Master of the Unseen, 2 Negate, 1 Pearl Ancient, 1 Revoke Existence, a Soulfire Grandmaster, and a Valorous Stance. Matthias, Control Master, what do you like for Jim?
All right, well, on Jim's side, I mean, they're seeding up for a control mirror. So let's look at the control cards we have available. Mastery of the Unseen as a 2 of seems excellent. And when games go, well, I suppose to turn 30, that card's going to have a lot of value in it. Negate is excellent. I would expect to see that come in. A lot of Sam's threats do happen to be Thoughtseize style effects. It's not as good as it was going to be out of Sam's deck, but I still think he wants it. The big trump here is Pearl Lake Ancient. You saw Sam actually able to use Den Protectors to grind through all of Jim's cards. Pearl Lake Ancient, once Jim gets it, if he gets it going without it getting Thoughtseize, it's unanswerable. It's slow, it's inefficient, but it's inevitable. It's the kind of thing Jim would want.
On Sam's side, he's got 2 Orbs of Warding, 2 Disdainful Stroke and Negate, 4 Farika's Cure in case he plays against a red deck, 1 Sultai Charm, 2 Duress, a Languish, and 2 copies of Self-Inflicted Wound.
So Sam, no more threats. He has 15 non-creature spells in the sideboard to tailor for different types of matchups, but I think he's got a pretty good plan here. Talked about how Jace plus discard and Den Protector plus discard made this a good matchup for Sam. 2 copies of Duress in the sideboard are fantastic. Jim's entire deck's non-creature spells. I think he'll go toward those. The Negate is going to be great as well. Disdainful Stroke is interesting. It's somewhat narrow here, but he may want to use it as well. I mean, Jim does actually play a fair number of 4-mana spells now that they're on 4 Ojutai's command, so I'd be interested in that as well. Sultai Charm is the one I'm not sure if he'll use. It's really only good for the Destroying Enchantment effect on it, but if he's expecting Mastery of the Unseen out of Jim, and I think he is, then maybe he wants to go up to 3 of them.
Oh, those are the options there for both players, and they'll shuffle up and get ready here for game number 2. Both players taking a look at their opening hand. And we'll see what happens here soon enough. Again, Jim Davis is likely to be on the play. I'd be surprised if he chose to draw first, but we will see.
Yeah, Jim's taking the play. I mean, these games go long enough that you could argue to go on the draw by saying you don't lose much by being on the play. At the same time, you don't lose much by being on the draw. So all things, I think the tempo gain still outweighs the extra card.
Both players good to go. We're underway here in game number 2. Polluted Delta is where Davis will start. A Temple of Deceit is where Sam begins things. And now Davis will sacrifice a fetch line very quickly to go get an island.
Yeah, and remember, Sam was able to take down Michael Burnett on the same deck in the top 8 rather quickly in 2 games. And so when these don't become marathon affairs, they're going to end early because Sam resolves 2 to 3 discard spells on Jim, simply gets a threat through, and then snowballs.
Jim will have a Jace on turn 2, so he'll put Sam to the test right away, electing for an island instead of a plains there off the Flooded Strand.
Yeah.
Negate the draw here for Sam.
Very little removal out of the Sultai control deck. This Jace will be around for a while.
Braatz with a Lanimore Waste and a Jace of his own.
This is where Jim's better equipped. In a Jace fight, Jim has much more removal for Jace. So he looks like a Last Breath hiding out in his hand already. And to that effect, this Jace is getting close to Planeswalker status very quickly. Jim's cracking a fetch land each turn. He could actually crack a fetch land, Last Breath, use Jace, and flip it on turn 3. That may just be what he does.
Yeah, maybe working towards that emblem pretty quickly here. We'll see.
And this is the kind of matchup where Jace is just better as a Planeswalker than he is as a creature.
Yep. Last Breath will take care of Jace. Jim will activate right away to flip.
You don't see too many turn 3 flips of this card.
No, not really. See what he wants to discard. He's got a plains in hand.
Yeah, he has extra lands. I think those are going to go.
So Jace will flip over to Telepath Unbound.
It'll plus. There's no reason for it to minus. So we'll have it up to 6. Remember, Jace, Telepath Unbound ultimates at 9 loyalty.
There's a Satyr Wayfinder. Sam on the hunt for lands.
Finds a temple, mills Jace, Void Snare, and Hero's Downfall. I was interested to see whether Sam would keep in cards like Void Snare. They're not particularly good here. What that tells me is that he has kept some number of Demonic Pacts in for the matchup.
Void Snare definitely had an impact on those games that we watched too. Just having that cheap of an effect for banishing light and other things is actually pretty good.
Yeah, when you're playing against cards like Clash of Wills or just anything in a counter spell war, I mean, 1-mana cards are gold. even if their effect is somewhat marginal.
Sort your deck list and bring it over here to the right of the stage.
Just want to make sure that that Jace was exiled from Last Breath.
Exactly.
Sam is playing a deck with
Greatly expedite the process.
dig through time
Yeah.
and murderous cut and stuff like that. So you want to make sure his graveyard is as it should be.
And remember, Sam does not have too many ways to knock Jace off the board once it's a Planeswalker. This may be a route to victory for Jim. He's drawn a card like Negate to protect it. May just try to get this emblem. That's easy if he gets it in play.
Can't imagine Sam winning if Jim does get to an emblem, but we haven't really seen the Jace emblem come into play in control mirrors just yet. Curious if it ever will happen, as now a Jace will be cast yet again. So Davis will up the Telepath Unbound, play a new Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, pass the turn back over to Sam. Temple of Deceit the draw.
Yeah, Sam, some counter magic of his own, but no threats, no Hero's Downfall. He's got to get the Telepath Unbound off the board. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He may have a quick game, too. Sam's got 2 turns left.
Davis, a Perlic Ancient.
A little early for him, but I still think Jim's happy to see the card.
Yep. Jace will move up. Vryn's Prodigy not going to go active because doesn't want to flip, because then we'd have to kill a Jace, so wouldn't do very much.
Just kind of
Jace the draw here for Sam.
commitment on Jim's side. He's going for the emblem. Sam's draw, no help there. He's going to have to play the Jace. Needs to find Hero's Downfall.
Needs to hope Sam doesn't have an answer to the Jace.
Well, what he does have going for him is that if he gets this Jace in play, what he can do, if this survives, next turn he can loot it and then flash back the Hero's Downfall and kill the Telepath.
If it survives.
Yeah, and I don't think it will because Jim has Last Breath with Negate backup. I believe Sam's plan is to protect this Jace with a Negate. I just don't think he'll be able to do it. Here's the
Here's
fight.
Last Breath.
Yeah, and Sam will fight over this. He's got to keep the Jace alive.
No, he won't.
Maybe not. Okay, so I stand corrected.
Well, he kept the card on top of his deck
Okay.
with the Scry, so.
Yeah, I mean, if the next card on top of the deck's just another Hero's Downfall, then you're absolutely right. No need to fight over Jace.
Radiant Fountain the draw here for Davis.
So if this plan doesn't work, Jace is at 9. It's a ready to go ultimate. Jim is at 6 lands and has Pearl Lake in hand. Pearl Lake wants 7, but he's got a good backup strategy. What was it? What was the card kept?
Didn't get a great look at it.
It's got to answer the Planeswalker. Once an emblem's in play, I don't think Braatz can win. Let's start it over.
Avoid snare, huh?
It's not a downfall, but it's close enough. We almost had a quick win. Buckle up. This one's going to go longer.
Just a 1 mana annoying-ish answer.
Now, remember, Jim has the backup plan of Pearl Lake Ancient. That can still do it, but now the emblem, not going to get there.
Yeah, Jim is
Smile on
even
his
kind of
face.
smiling, yeah. All right, I guess I'm going to negate this.
Make you have it. Do you have another negate? Oh, he does. He does.
Yeah, here's negate.
All right. Jace back to the hand. He will go. No emblem.
So close. So close, Jim.
Almost got there.
There's a swamp for Sam.
Jim will get a replacement Planeswalker, though, if he cares to.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Jason play that he can flip.
Yeah, he'll want. We talked about that last game. He'll want to do that main phase. No reason not to.
Dissolve the draw.
Great draw for Jim.
Gonna activate Jace. Draw a card. Another Jace. Easy discard here, I think.
Many Jaces. 2 in hand, 1 in play.
So now the Telepath Unbound is back, starting on 5, looking to get up to 9 again as it's on 6. Slow down the Wayfinder.
Start it up. We're going up to 9 again. Slowly but surely.
I gotta try. Jim will draw.
Yeah, no plays on Sam's side for the turn.
Clash of Wills. Jace up to 7.
Jim's got counter magic, a clash and a dissolve.
Well, Clash of Wills actually reasonable now.
Yeah, and this is interesting. So if Sam had delved his whole yard, Jim would probably be forced to use a dissolve on this. But now Jim's going to get a great value off for his Clash of Wills. Yeah, easy.
The only tough spot here for Jim, and there is Clash of Wills, is that you see his mana, 2 islands, 2 Radiant Fountains, 2 plains, so he can't cast the Dissolve in his hand right now.
So shields are actually down. He only has single blue.
Yeah, and Sam has a lot of cards in hand, so now here's Thoughtseize, which makes it even more difficult because now Jim's got to reveal the Pearl Licking shots in
Yeah,
his hand.
and he had the Pearl Lake. It was almost there. This is the only way that Sam could answer it. Once Jim had hit land 7, if he had off the loot last turn, Pearl Lake there's no way for Sam to get rid of Pearl Lake Ancient.
So
well, not no way, but it's hard.
It's very difficult, yes. So Jace, Pearl Lake, and excuse me, Dissolve are the choices here for Sam.
And he'll take the Leviathan, it looks like. So no Pearl Lake. Now Jim has to defend Jace. Sam's cleared the way. He knows the path is clear for a threat if he has one.
Well, this is sort of a threat.
It'll do the trick.
And again, Jim doesn't have double blue to dissolve, so this is going to resolve. And now Sam will get the opportunity to take a look at the top 7 cards and take 2 with him.
That was an interesting one on the delve there. So he had to delve 3 to do it. He had a Thoughtseize, a Downfall, and a Negate. So he has to keep in mind what cards are in his graveyard because he has Jaces and Den Protectors. He ended up exiling the Negate, so he still has Thoughtseize and Hero's Downfall left. I like keeping the Downfall because of this Jace in play. That seems great. Thoughtseize versus Negate, that one's real close. Do you think Thoughtseize is, if you want a proactive game plan where you're trying to resolve your own spells, Thoughtseize is better? If you already believe you have the advantage, Negate becomes better.
Yeah, I think the options here are all pretty good as far as what to leave in the graveyard. He does have to make a choice.
Right.
And he made one there, leaving the Hero's Downfall down there, and then the Thoughtseize as well. Letting the gate go kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Here's Temple, top card, bottom card now. Go back over to Davis. Thoughtseize was very powerful in that situation. Ochai's Command was the draw. That's not particularly helpful.
No, Sam has it covered in Disdainful Stroke. What we do know is because Sam didn't take the Hero's Downfall, however, he cannot necessarily Den Protect back this down. Yeah, he can't Den Protect back the Downfall because he didn't take the Dissolve.
Yep.
So I don't know if he has an answer for the Planeswalker just yet. I mean, this is the pressure we were in a few turns ago when Sam scried that Void Snare to the top. Can he deal with Jace before it makes an emblem? He's got a Den Protector, but he knows Jim's on a Dissolve.
Well, maybe there's another Void Snare in the future. Who knows? We'll have to see.
If this is Den Protector, Jim will dissolve it. It's far too powerful of a card. And Sam's just going to pass. What is he up to? He's going to have to kill Jace on his next turn.
Last breath to draw. Jace up to 9. So close last time, Jim. Can you do it this time?
And I don't... Oh, wow. A Thoughtseize was the draw for Sam, so he'll get to take the Dissolve. But it's not enough. He's a land short to play Den Protector, get back Hero's Downfall, and Downfall. He needs 8 for that play. He only has 7.
Jim's thinking emblem.
I mean, and this is why these matchups are so great. If you go back to that Thoughtseize turn, which Sam had, where he took Pearl Lake instead of Dissolve, I mean, great opportunity to take Pearl Lake Ancient, but I think it factors out that because he took Pearl Lake there, he didn't get to Den Protect in time, and now their emblem will be made on Jim's side, and that can cost him the game.
Den Protector being played as a morph. Might see the Ochai's Command now. No, I'll let that go, I think. We'll see.
He has to command it, but...
And there's Command. Disdainful Stroke will take care of that.
Yeah, but the emblem's happening, and that's huge for Jim.
Well, now we get to finally find out how good the emblem is.
Yeah, does it win or does it not win?
Yeah.
I guess that's the question. Jim gets the emblem. That's a huge win, but if you want to look at players' hands and boards, Jim is really on the losing end right now. So the emblem's going to have to do work.
Island the draw. I would be very surprised if Jim this turn, if he's flashing back or not just moving to the emblem. I would be a little bit surprised.
All right, so if we haven't seen this one in play, we're going to look at just what Sam's going to have to beat. This is the The Jace, the ability you don't see too often on Jace Telepath Unbound. Here's the emblem. Whenever you cast a spell, so that you will refer to Jim, target opponent, that's Sam's going to put the top 5 cards of his library into his or her graveyard. So looking at the decks, that's probably about 7 spells from Jim. If he can play 7 spells from here on out before he dies, he'll win the game.
Make it 6.
There's the first one, Jace.
There goes Hero's Downfall. Satyr Wayfinder, a couple lands, and a Sultai Charm.
There's a Den Protector in play for Sam, so milling does have some advantage. Gives Sam extra options. But Sam's deck does not kill quickly, and any spells mentioned, any spells business. So a line from Sam takes care of Perlic Ancient, but means that Jim gets to have an emblem. I suppose what Sam has to decide then is, does he want to try to beat a Perlic, or does he want to try to beat a Jace emblem?
Well, I think both are difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
For starters. He's going to get back Dig Through Time with Den Protector. It'll get a counter. Can't Last Breath it now. And there was never a great opportunity for Jim to Last Breath in the first place, and Sport doesn't even use the stack.
Yeah, just the moment you pay the morph, he just gets the counter.
Yeah. All right. So, the pressure is on, Sam.
Yeah, Sam's deck is not well equipped to win quickly, or to win at all. It wins through attrition. I mean, Jim's hand, we'll be frank, Jim's hand's bad right now.
Jim's hand's horrible.
Yeah. Here's Garrick Apex Predator. Okay, if you need to win, this is the card that Sam wants. This is his best clock. He'll cast it. It's going to resolve. This is going to be close now.
We're going up. Maybe. Okay, he's going to take care of Jace. Jim's hand right now is Last Breath Island.
Yeah, Jim he could Last Breath the Jace, actually.
Yeah, it might want 4 life.
I think that's better than Last Breathing the Satyr Wayfinder.
Okay.
It's gonna. I believe it'll be more life over the course of the game for Jim to do this play.
Duress, Den Protector, Satyr Wayfinder, the Mighty Void Snare, all going to the graveyard.
Yeah, and Jim gains 4. Remember, that's important. Yep. He's 2 spells in, needs roughly 5 more to win. It's not exact science. We don't have an official count on Sam's library.
But Jim is going to fall down a little bit lower this turn because Den Protector and Satyr Wayfinder get to come in. So Davis falls down to 21.
4 damage. It's good. And remember, Jim does not. This is hard. If he draws something like a Dig Through Time here, Jim's a favorite. It's the easiest way for him to have multiple spells. Draw for the turn was not bad at all. It was a copy of Elspeth Sun's Champion.
Yeah, actually, I like that a lot as a draw for Jim because it gets to buy him a lot of time, I think.
Yep. Spell number 3. Sam's going to have to take a turn off for making beasts to kill the Elspeth.
He's got soldiers for blockers, though those soldiers can't block Den Protector.
Yeah, Jim have a healthy 21, though. If it's just Den Protector racing against Jim playing 4 more spells, I like Jim's side of it.
Well, time for Sam to untap and draw. Can he beat this emblem?
And remember, with these counter spells, Sam will have to mill 5 even if he counters the spell that Jim casts. The emblem triggers when Jim casts it, not on it resolving.
Well, a lot of cards to delve away from Dig Through Time, so this will be a 2-mana deck.
Yeah, that part's easy now that Jim's milling him out.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I'm curious just how many cards Sam has left.
There's not a lot over there.
No, the graveyard looks to be taller than the deck at this point.
Den Protector is a nice find. Ugin is a pretty nice find, but Ugin's always very powerful.
7 in hand, at least 5 more in the yard, so it's going to take, looks like 3 more activations from Jim should do it. Ugin's great. Ugin doesn't exile emblems, though. Much as Sam may wish it did. It's got to take all his win cons, so that's basically just Ugin's Den Protectors and the 1 Garrick. That's his way of winning. I mean, maybe Demonic Pact. That deals 4. I don't even want to draw 2 off it. That's
the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Not ready to use Garrick just yet. Here's Thoughtseize.
Yeah, make sure that Jim has just nothing. It's basic land.
Looks like there are about 18 cards left in Sam's library right now. Den Protector coming in for 3. Davis down to 18.
Garrick hunts down the Elspeth. Jim's just playing off the top of his deck. Is it a spell? Jim just hopes not to draw land. Oh, and he did. All right. But it's a temple. It means maybe next turn he'll find a spell. Importantly, remember, if he finds a draw spell of some sorts, that's really strong. Sam does have a disdainful stroke. My guess is Jim keeps anything that's a non-land on top of his deck.
Probably. Jim will take a look. Wants to make sure he knows what Garrick does. At this point, it's just cranking out beasts.
Cranking out 3/3s.
Uh-oh, is he turning towards Garrick? Yeah.
The Satyr Wayfinder left back to block. He's not going to get it all the way, but he can take care of the Satyr Wayfinder, get Garrick down to 1.
I kind of like it. All right. It's not like these tokens are blocking anyway because of the Den Protector.
I actually don't like that line. Okay, because these tokens I think are for blocking future beasts. Like as far as the racing math works out, you're going to do better on the race by not trading a token with Satyr Wayfinder.
Well, in the off chance that you got to actually kill the Garrick, I think that works out pretty well, especially because Sam has Ugin in hand. So now Sam gets to go Ugin, 0, kill your tokens, make a beast afterward. And the official number now on Sam's deck is 17. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know if Ugin, if he's making the Ugin yet. The problem is if he taps out for Ugin and doesn't leave up Disdainful Stroke and Jim top decks Dig Through Time, Sam loses.
Yeah.
Dig mills 5, Dig finds 2 spells, mills 10 more, Sam's done.
Temple?
And I believe it's possible that these beasts can just race Jim as it stands.
Yeah, now here's Ugin, so he is going to tap out for it and take the risk.
Big reward. If Jim top decks Dig Through Time, game over, game 3, Jim Davis gets the win. If Jim bricks on this draw, though, Sam's significantly upped his clock.
Just shoot him and pass. Well, Jim's top card he put to the bottom with the temple, so let's see what it is.
This is a rip. Does he get there?
I love a slow roll. Is it a dig? I love a good slow roll. It's
blue?
It is blue.
I think it's a chase. It's a Disdainful Stroke. That is not cooperating. See Jim smile there. Sam all along maybe deciding he could beat an Emblem. Deciding between Emblem and Pearl Lake, he picked his poison, and it may have been the right choice.
Maybe. It's not over yet. It's close. It's feeling good for Sam right now.
It looks like he wins in one more turn. And because the only card that can mill him out, I believe, is Dig Through Time, the Disdainful Stroke in his hand should have that covered, and I believe Sam wins on the following turn.
Davis is going to fall down to 9. Garrick will move up.
The card he may or may not be able to beat is this Jim top decks a Mastery of the Unseen. He'd mill Sam for 5. He might be able to make enough blockers to survive a turn.
Top card going to go to the bottom. Well, we'll see how this story plays out right now because Davis at 6 and he's drawing a card, Disdainful Stroke in hand.
Ugin plus Den Protector will win the game on the following turn for Sam Braatz.
Polluted Delta was the draw. All Jim can do is pass the turn back, and as we know, his tournament is going to come to a close here as Sam was able to race this Jace Emblem. He'll attack with everything. There will be a block, and that's going to do it. Sam Braatz going to win this match here over Jim Davis, 2-0. Sultai Control will take care of Blue-White Control. Jim couldn't find a Dig Through Time, and we see some pretty unique games there, but Sultai Control moves on to play against Mono Red in the finals here from Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Blue-White Control with Jim Davis and the round before, Michael Burnett, looked so powerful this weekend. It was taking on all comers. We're thinking, was this the deck that we missed until the end of the format? It did well, but it looks like it has met its match. In an unlikely candidate, a Sultai Jace deck with Demonic Pact